the next topic, the final topic of the first unit, which is Laplace and Poisson's equation. But this one is very, very important, both for exam and for practical things also. Why it is important? The thing is, so this is also, these two equations are same. Basically, both of them are same equations, right? So these equations will give us the best possible method to calculate the electric field intensity. Okay. So electric field intensity, we have seen three methods till now, right? We can calculate using Coulomb's law. We can calculate using Gauss law. We can calculate using the concept of potential. Okay, correct? So in all those cases, right? In all those cases, okay. So if you want to calculate the electric field intensity, right? That if I want to calculate the electric field intensity, right, at a particular point, so I should know what is the distance, right? So for example, if this is the charge Q, right? So if I calculate the electric field intensity at this point, let's say I calculate the electric field intensity at the point P1, okay, right? I should know what is the distance of this, correct? If I, let's say I got the value of electric field intensity at the P1. Now, if I want to calculate the value at P2, again, I have to do the same procedure and do it, correct? Okay. So that is, for example, I'll just give a practical example. So for example, you want to find out what is the radius of an antenna. Ante up to which point you can, or let's say you want to measure what is the strength of the signal at a particular point, okay, of your antenna, right? That's what you want to measure, okay. In that case, so what I have to do at every point, by using this formula, you have to calculate the electric field E bar at each point. So for each point, again I have to take the charge Q and measure the distance from this and do this, okay. So instead of this, if I know the value of electric field at a particular point, using this, right, it is not possible to calculate the electric field at any other point using all the three techniques, okay. And the three techniques that we discussed till now, there is no provision for calculating the electric field at a new point by knowing the value of electric field at some other point, okay. So if I know, for example, E bar at P1, is it possible for me to calculate the value of E bar at P2? No, it is not possible, right? Correct? It is not possible. So using Coulomb's law or using Gauss law or using whatever the law you want, right? You cannot calculate the E bar at the new point, okay? At the new point, right? Using the value of E bar. So sometimes, for example, sometimes, okay, it is not possible, right, to every time to measure the distance, right, and take the readings, all these things. Practically, right, it is not possible, okay. Practically, it might not be possible. So therefore, whenever such kind of things are not possible, then we use this concept, right? Laplace and Poisson's equations will give us a method to find the electric field at a new point by using the value, right, by using the potential or by using the electric field at some other point, okay. Generally, those points are called as boundary points, okay. So if I know the value of E bar at a boundary or at any place, okay, right, if I know the electric field or potential at a particular point, then using this, we can able to calculate the electric field or potential at any other point with the help of Laplace and Poisson's equations, okay. So these are generally what we do is, with the value of E bar that is given is taken as the boundary value, okay. Boundary value that we consider it as a boundary value and calculate the new value of E bar, okay. So therefore, that's why these are called as boundary value problems or boundary conditions, boundary value conditions or boundary value equations. Sometimes these equations are also called as boundary value equations of the right surfaces, okay. Are you able to understand, ma? Right? So what is this speciality or what is a thing with Laplace and Poisson's equations is, so using this method, using this Laplace or Poisson's equations, if I know the E bar at a particular point, okay, which we call it as a boundary point, if I know the E bar or potential at that point, I can calculate the value of potential or E bar at any other point, okay, at any other point, right? Okay, so that is we can obtain it as a function of the required variable, and we can calculate the value, right, at that particular point. It is not required to measure the value again and again, right? So that's why these Laplace and Poisson's equations are very, very important for us, right, in the study of electrostatics. Okay, generally we use these methods. For in practice we use the Laplace and Poisson's equations and the boundary conditions for evaluating the electric field in all the antenna measurements, right? In all the microwave and radar measurements, we use Laplace equations. Okay, that's why it is very important. That's a simple concept, right, which we already know, right? So just that we need to formulate it. Okay, clear with this, right? So this is the importance of Laplace and Poisson's equations. Even for exam also, we will not get the derivation because it's not a derivation, it's a simple equation, right? But we will get problems, right, on solving the on obtaining the potential electric field using these Laplace equations. Okay, so firstly let us see what are these equations. Okay, yeah, so for that let us start with this. Okay, so firstly we will consider the first Maxwell equation in the point form. As per the Maxwell's equations, we have del dot d bar is equal to rho v, right? This is also called as Gauss law in point form. Remember, this is called as Gauss law in point form. It is also called, this equation is called as Gauss law in point form because it is derived from Gauss law, right? Okay, so considering this equation, del dot d bar is equal to rho v, right? So let us consider del dot d bar is equal to rho v. Okay, now we know that d bar can be written as d bar is equal to epsilon into e bar, correct? D bar is equal to epsilon into e bar. So what I get, del dot d bar is equal to del dot. So from this, d bar can be written as epsilon into e bar is equal to rho v, correct? Okay, del dot epsilon e bar is equal to, right, rho v. But epsilon is a constant, right? So we can put that, we can take that aside. Okay, so epsilon, right, del dot e bar is equal to rho v. Because epsilon is a constant, we can take it fully out, no issues at all. Okay, so epsilon into del dot e bar is equal to rho v. Now e bar again can be written as, we know that e bar is equal to minus del v, correct? E bar, electric field intensity in terms of potential, can be written as E bar is equal to minus del V. So substituting that in this equation, epsilon into, right, del dot del minus del V, del dot minus del V is equal to rho V, correct? Okay, so epsilon is a constant, we can send it that side. Del dot, right, minus is also taken out. So del dot del V is equal to minus rho V by epsilon. Okay, del dot del, right, V is a scalar, V is just a scalar potential. So these two are vectors, right, correct? So we can write like this, del dot del into V. Del and del, A dot A is equal to A square, correct? Magnitudes get multiplied, directions will all get same, eliminated. Okay, ax dot ax is 1, ay dot ay is 1, az dot az is 1. Remaining terms are all zeros. So what we get is, we'll get only magnitude. So we can write this expression as del square v is equal to minus rho v by epsilon. So this equation is called as Poisson's equation. This equation is called as Poisson's equation. Okay, right? So see again what I am doing. So just now we have derived the first Maxwell's equation or Gauss law in point form. Okay, what is that Gauss law? Del dot d bar is equal to rho v, correct? Del dot d bar is equal to rho v. D bar, right, we know that d bar is equal to epsilon into e bar. So we get the equation del dot epsilon e bar is equal to rho v, right? Epsilon is a constant, put it outside. Epsilon into del dot e bar is equal to rho v. Okay, right? Now e bar, right? But we know that e bar, okay? We know that e bar is equal to, right, minus del v. Okay, so e bar is nothing but gradient of potential. So substituting that, epsilon into del dot minus del v is equal to rho v, correct? Now minus and epsilon are constant, so if I put this and send this side, so del dot del into v is equal to rho v by epsilon minus rho v by epsilon. So del is a vector, del is a vector, v is a scalar, so v is a scalar, put that outside. Del dot del, right? A dot a is always equal to a square, correct? So the same thing I have written, del square into v is equal to minus rho v by epsilon. So this equation is called as, one second, correct, I'm just adding, sorry. So del square v is called as minus rho v by, del square v is equal to minus rho v by epsilon, which is called as the Poisson's equation, which is called as the Poisson's equation of electrostatics. Okay, clear with this? Understood, right? So we started with the first Maxwell's equation, del dot d is equal to rho v, d bar is this, right? This thing. Okay, now if the volume charge density of any material is equal to 0, if the volume charge density of any material is equal to 0, so when will the charge density become 0? For what kind of materials? Obviously for dielectrics. Okay, a dielectric cannot generate electricity. Okay, so for a dielectric, that is, it does not have any charge particles. So therefore for dielectrics, for dielectric kind of mediums, rho v is always equal to 0. Or for any material, let's say for any material, if rho v is equal to 0, then what we get? Rho v is 0, epsilon is not 0, rho v is equal to 0. So in such cases, del square v can be written as 0, correct? So if rho v is equal to 0, then del square v will become equal to 0. So this equation is called as Laplace equation. Okay, so del square v is equal to 0 is called as the Laplace equation of electrostatics, whereas this equation del square v is equal to minus rho v by epsilon is called as the Poisson's equation of the Poisson's equation of electrostatics. Okay, so this operator, del square operator, right, del square v is called as the Laplacian operator, right? Del square of a scalar is called as the Laplacian of the scalar, right? Laplacian of the potential. Okay, so Laplacian of the potential is equal to 0. So this is the Poisson's equation, and this is the Laplacian equation. Any doubts in this? Have you understood, ma? As I said, these both are same, right? Okay, and the simple derivation, there is no simple complicated steps, simple thing, right? Del dot d bar is equal to rho v, d bar is nothing but epsilon into e bar, right? So we write that e bar is again equal to minus del v. So what we get is del square v is equal to minus rho v by epsilon, which is called as the Poisson's equation, right? And okay, so if rho v is equal to 0, that is a special case, right? So if for a material, if rho v is equal to 0, then what we get is del square v is equal to 0. So which is called as the Laplacian operation or Laplacian equation. The problem, right? Quickly, firstly write down the steps how to solve the problems using the Laplacian operation. So there are 3 steps. Okay, so Laplacian equation or Poisson's equation. So we should understand, we should remember when to use Laplacian equation, when to use Poisson's equation, right? If the volume charge density rho v is given as 0, right, then you should use the Laplacian equation. Okay, if the volume charge density rho v is given as some value, then Poisson's equation is to be used. If in case, if there is no specification of volume charge density, then assume it as 0. Okay, so problem lo manaki rho v value iste adi Poisson's equation ga తీసుకొని solve cheyandi. Otherwise, okavela if we do not if it is not specified, okay, if the rho v value is not specified, then treat it as Laplace equation. Okay, so Laplace equation ga treat chesi solve cheyandi. Okavela manaki in case if the value of rho v is specified, then we can use the Poisson's equation, right? So rendu equations manamu cheyochu. Okay, renditki same procedure, right? Ela anadi chuddam. Okay, write down the steps, right? So first step is, okay, so write the Laplacian or Poisson's equation for the given expression, right? Okay, so that is start it with this, write the Laplacian or the Poisson's equation for the given for the given field. Okay, then integrate this, right? Integrate this with respect to whatever the del we have. Okay, so if del is in spherical coordinates, integrate it with respect to dr, d theta, d phi. If it is in Cartesian, right, integrate it with respect to x, y, z. So first step is write the equation and integrate the equation. Okay, integrate the equation, right? Integrate the expression, right? Okay, so integrate the expression. When you're integrating, right, the second step is when you're integrating, assume the constant. That is, for example, when I integrate a, let's say ax or something a, so in general what should be the value when I integrate? So for example, if I say let's say y is equal to ax, so integral y means this general form is integral ax plus we have to add some constant of integration, correct? Okay, so we will have to assume some constants of integration when you're integrating this expression. So we'll start with this, right? So we will start with either del square v is equal to minus rho v by epsilon or del square v is equal to 0. Take the del value in appropriate coordinate system and then integrate it. Okay, right? So when you are integrating, assume the constants of integration. Assume the constants, necessary constants of integration. That means when I integrate like this, I will have to get the integral of this plus some constant of integration. Okay, so right, so because it is double differentiation, we have to integrate it 2 times. Okay, we will get 2 constants. Next, third thing is, so by using the third step is by using the boundary conditions given or given the conditions, evaluate the values of, right, constants c, c1 and c2. That is the constants of integration. Okay, evaluate the values of constants of integration using the boundary conditions. Okay, using the boundary conditions. So once you get the values of c1 and c2, we will get the general expression, the solution of v. We are integrating to solve for v, correct? So when we when we differentiate it once, integrate it one time it will become del v. Second time if I integrate it, I'll get v. Okay, so we are solving for v, and in that when we are integrating, we have to assume some constants of integration, and then using the boundary conditions, we will solve or we will find out the values of c1 and c2. Once I get the values of c1 and c2, substitute it, and I will get the general function of the v, correct? So I will get the general function of the v. Then from that, right, I can get e bar is equal to minus del v, right? E bar is equal to minus del v. We will get that in the intermediate itself, intermediate step itself. Okay, e bar is equal to minus del v. Then we can calculate d bar or capacitance or charge, anything, right? Okay, so right, we can calculate any value from this. This looks to be a little clumsy, right? But we will understand when we are solving examples. Examples chestunnappudu easy ga ardhamavutadi. Okay, so procedure is this, correct? Procedure is this. So first what we should do is, so we should understand, first step is we should understand whether the rho v is given or not. Okay, if it is given, take the Poisson's equation, general equation. This is the thing. Okay, general equation, right? Rho v value istadu, adokkati substitute chesukovali, right? Rho v value okkati istadu, adi substitute chesukovali, right? Rho v substitute cheskoni, okay, ఈ ఎక్స్ప్రెషన్ ని సాల్వ్ చేయాలి. ఎలా సాల్వ్ చేయాలి? దీన్ని ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళాలి. ఓకే, we have to do integration 2 times ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేయాలి. ఓకే, one second. We have to integrate it 2 times ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేయాలి. Once 2 times ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేసిన తర్వాత, రైట్, వాట్ వి గెట్, v వాల్యూ వస్తుంది. ఓకే, ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు మనం ఏం చేయాలంటే we have to assume the constants of integration. That is very important, right? ఓకే, సో కాన్స్టెంట్ ఆఫ్ అంటే ఒక ax నేను ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేస్తున్నానంటే, x ని ఇంటిగ్రేట్ చేస్తున్నానంటే ఇంటిగ్రల్ x ప్లస్ సమ్ కాన్స్టెంట్ వస్తుంది. ఆ కాన్స్టెంట్ ని యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ గా పెట్టుకోవాలి. ఓకే, సో కాన్స్టెంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇంటిగ్రేషన్ ని తీసుకొని చేసుకుంటూ వెళ్ళాలి. ఇప్పుడు ఈ కాన్స్టెంట్ వాల్యూస్ ని ఎలా ఫైండ్ అవుట్ చేయాలంటే యూజింగ్ ద బౌండరీ కండిషన్స్. ఓకే, బౌండరీ కండిషన్స్ యూస్ చేసుకొని we can find out the values of C1 and C2. Once I calculate the C1 and C2, substitute that in the V expression. Right here we are solving for V. So solve substitute the values of C1 and C2 in the value of V, and then we'll get E bar is equal to and all the things. Once we get V, we can calculate anything else. Okay, right? So we will understand this with the help of examples, better understood with examples. So write down a couple of examples. Yeah, first example. Determine the voltage. Determine the voltage as a function of R. As a function of R, determine the voltage as a function of small r, that is radius. Determine the voltage as a function of small r, if the voltage is generated, using a volume charge, if the voltage is generated using a volume charge, having a charge density rho v, given as rho v is equal to 200 epsilon naught divided by r power 2.4. Right, having the volume charge density rho v is equal to 200 epsilon naught divided by r power 2.4. Okay, the boundary condition, it is given that r square into er is equal to 0. R square into er is equal to 0 at r is equal to 0. R square into er, electric field, r square into er bar is equal to 0 at r is equal to 0, right? And v is equal to 0 at r is equal to infinity. Correct? Yeah. So let us consider the Poisson's equation. If rho s is not given, or if it is given as 0, then we have to go for Laplace equations. Okay, so because rho s is given, so we can use the Poisson's equation. So the Poisson's equation is given by del square v is equal to, right, rho v by, sorry, this is v, rho v by epsilon. Okay, so because here epsilon r is not given, so assuming epsilon r is equal to 1, that means epsilon is equal to epsilon naught. Okay, so now substituting rho v value here, so del square v is equal to, right, minus 200 epsilon naught divided by r power 2.4 into epsilon naught. So epsilon naught gets cancelled. Yeah, you don't worry, I'll add. Okay, right, so epsilon gets cancelled, so this is equal to minus 200 into r power, right, 2.4 minus 2.4. Okay, so this is the thing. Right now we have been asked to find out voltage, right? We have been asked to find out voltage in terms of r. Okay, that means it's a spherical coordinate system and the variation of voltage is only along r. Okay, so right, del square in spherical coordinate system, we know the general formula, but I am taking only with respect to r because it has been said that it is there only with respect to r. We have to find out the voltage is only a function of r. The remaining theta and phi can be neglected. So in that case, the del square only in terms of r can be written as r square into dou by dou r of 1 by r square into dou by dou r of r square into dou by dou r. Correct? So this is the thing. Now del square V is equal to, so this we have to add V here. Okay. So writing that here 1 by R square into dou by dou R of R square into dou V by dou R, dou V by dou R is equal to minus 200 into R power minus 2.4. Correct. So this is what we get. Yeah. Just a second. Adding. So few students. Yeah, I'm adding them. No issues. Okay. Yeah. So this is the this is the expression we get. Now sending this R square to here, right? So R power R square, that is 2 minus 2.4 is R power minus 0.4. So taking that value, so dou by dou R, okay, of R square into dou V by dou R is equal to minus 200 into, right, R power 2 minus 2.4, which is nothing but minus 0.4. Correct. So the value of R that we get is, right, R power is minus 0.4. Now, right, so this is these are the steps, right, we have to remember. Okay. So first we have taken the Laplace equation, right, and we have chosen the coordinate system. Laplace or Poisson equation is taken, the first step. Then we have to choose the coordinate system and write down. Okay. So when we are choosing the coordinate system, the del value of the appropriate coordinate system has to be taken, right? So in this should be general case, but here we have been specifically asked to find out what is the VR, right? That is what is the voltage with as a function of R. So we have to consider only the function of R. So in that case, this becomes the expression, the del value, right? Only of R component I have taken. Remaining theta and phi I have not taken. Okay. So that I will get like this, correct? And now what we need to do, the next thing is we need to integrate this expression. Okay. So integrating with respect to R, so dou by dou R will get cancelled out, right? When we integrate, it will get cancelled out. So R square into dou V by dou R is equal to, right, integral minus 200, right, R power minus 0.4 plus assuming a constant of integration. That's what the second step is. So when you are integrating, we have to consider, one second, yes, I'm adding. Okay. So when I am integrating, I have to consider the constants of integration also. Okay, right. So this is equal to R square into dou V by dou R is equal to, on this side, minus 200 is a constant into integral of R power 0.4. So R power x, any integral of R power x is R power 1 plus x plus 1 by x plus 1. So here R plus minus 0.4 plus 1, that means plus 0.6 divided by, right, minus 0.4 plus 1 is again 0.6. Clear with this? So formula for R power x is R power x plus 1 by x plus 1. So that is the case, right? Plus constant of integration C1. Okay, right? So minus 200 by 0.6. Okay, or this can also be written as 2000 by 6. Correct? 2000 by 6. So that means 1000 by 3. 1000 by 3 is minus 333.33 into R power 0.6 plus C1. Okay, correct? So this is the thing that we get. Okay, all right. Now we can continue with again integration, right? I want the actually the thing that I require is the voltage, correct? Okay, so for getting voltage, if we integrate it again, I will get dV by dr becomes 0. So I will get the integral value. But before that, we need to evaluate C1. Okay, so here from this we can evaluate the C1. For evaluating C1, one second, one more person is waiting. Yes. Okay. So for evaluating the expression for C1, what should I do? I have the boundary conditions, right? Always remember that. So manaki we have del square V. That means for getting V, I need to integrate 2 times. So I will get 2 constants. Okay. So one is C1, other is C2. For solving this, we will be given 2 boundary conditions. That's for sure, right? Without two boundary conditions, we cannot obtain. So we have been given one boundary condition. The first boundary condition that is given is R square ER will be 0 if R is 0. Okay, R square ER is equal to 0, or R square into E will be 0 if R is equal to 0. Okay, so using this condition, right? See here, R, this is what we got, right? The expression that we got is this is R square, right? dV by dr is equal to this minus 333.33 into R power 0.6 plus C1. Okay, so R square dV by dr is nothing but dou V, correct? By considering only V as a function of R. Okay, if we consider only V as a function of R, then dou by dou R is nothing but del. Del operator. Okay, so R square into dV by dr is basically R square into dou V. R square into dou V is equal to, right? Okay, so this expression R square into dou V by dou R is equal to R square into del V is equal to, what is the value I got? Minus 333.33 into R power 0.6 plus C1. Correct? Okay. Now we have already studied that del V is nothing but E potential, right? Minus E, right? E is equal to E bar is equal to minus del V. That's what we write. So therefore, del V can be written as minus E. So this is nothing but R square into minus R square into E is equal to minus 333.33 R power 0.6 plus C1. Okay, is it clear till now? Is it clear till now, ma? Right? I hope that this is clear. This is the value given, right? So rho V is given. For that, we need to find out voltage as a function of R. Okay, right. Now what we have, but we have been given the boundary condition that is given for us is, right? When R is equal to 0, R square into E bar will be 0. So substituting R equal to 0 in that equation, right? So R square into E bar will be 0. 0 is equal to, right, minus 0, or 0 is equal to, when I put R equal to 0 here, 0 power something is again 0, right? So this all term becomes 0 plus C1. Correct? Are you able to understand, ma? Right? So all this term becomes 0, right? Okay, and plus C1. Yes. So therefore, the first constant of integration C1 is 0, right? The first constant of integration that we get is 0. Okay. Now, right, let us continue the next step. What is the next thing that we need to do, right? So we need to find out V. Okay. So we have found out the value of C1. So let us substitute that R square into dou V by dou R is equal to, right, what is that we get? Minus 333.33 into R power 0.6 plus C1. C1 is 0, so plus 0. So we can take out this thing. Okay. Now, right, dou V by dou R is equal to, so I'm sending R square to that side, minus 333.33 into R power 0.6 minus 2. Okay. So what is that value? R power minus 1.4. Correct? R power minus 1.4. Now integrating this again, integrate this with respect to R. So what I get is V. V is equal to, right, minus 333.33 into, right, integral of R power minus 1.4 plus C2. Second constant, I am assuming it as C2. Okay. So this is equal to minus 333.33 into integral of R power x. Again, integral of R power x is R power x plus 1 by x plus 1. So what is R power minus 1.4 plus 1? That is minus 0.4 divided by again minus 0.4 plus C2. Okay. Now minus gets cancelled. Right? Are you able to understand, ma? Right? So what I get is, right, what's a thing that I will get after this is, right, so V is equal to 333, or we can write it as 333.3 divided by 4. Okay, right, into R power minus 0.4 plus C2. Okay, correct? So now we need to evaluate the value of C2, right? We need to evaluate the value of C2. C2 value we have to find out. For that, we have to use the second boundary condition. What is the second boundary condition given? The value of V will be 0 if R is equal to infinity. If R is equal to infinity. Okay. So, right, using this condition, let us find out the value of C2. Okay. What is the value of C2 I get? So V is equal to, firstly what I do is, so just slightly modify what, right? What is the value of this? Approximately 832, I think. Okay. Yeah. 4 8s are 32. Correct. So 830 something will come into R power, right? So instead of R power minus 0.4 plus C2, correct? So this is equal to 832 by R power 0.4. I can write like this, plus C2, correct? So R power minus 0.4 means R power minus x can be written as 1 by R power x. Okay. Now substitute R equal to infinity in this expression. Substituting R equal to infinity. So whenever R equal to infinity, what is the value of V? V will be 0. So 0 is equal to 832 or 832 divided by infinity power 0.4. Okay. Plus C2. Correct. So 1 by infinity power 0.4, infinity power some constant value is always 0, right? Infinity. So 1 by infinity, this is nothing but 1 by infinity. 1 by infinity is 0. So C2 value is also 0. Okay. Yeah. Any doubts in this? No. Right? C2 value is also 0. Correct. So see again, right? What I am doing. So I got the general expression like this for the V. Okay. So in this, the second boundary condition given for us is V is equal to 0 if R is equal to infinity. Okay. So therefore V is equal to, this is the thing, right? If I write here, right, R power minus x can be written as 1 by R power x plus C2. Okay. Now R equal to infinity means infinity power 0.4, which is again infinity. So 1 by infinity is 0. So this entire term becomes 0. So 0 plus C2 is equal to 0. That means C2 is equal to 0. So therefore, right, the final expression that we get, this final expression that we get for the V will be V is equal to 832 divided by R power 0.4. Correct? C2 is 0, C1 is 0. So this is the expression for voltage, right? Okay. So if the value of R is given, if the value of R is given, the value of radius R is given, then we can find out the voltage at that point. Okay. Clear? So without knowing anything, without knowing the charge or without knowing the flux or without knowing what exactly the source, and right, we can see that, okay, from this example we can see that from using Laplace equation or Poisson's equation, without knowing what is the charge or without knowing what is the charge distribution or flux, just by knowing the boundary condition and the charge density, right? So for Laplace equations, for some cases, even that is not required. Okay. So if you just know what is the charge density, right, and boundary conditions, then we can definitely calculate the electric field intensity or potential or flux density at any point. Okay. So that is the advantage of Laplace or Poisson's equations.